What if a single mysterious sound at a train station could turn an entire city into chaos, and the only way to survive is to never look at what's coming? This train station might not look scary at first, but trust me, it's the creepiest one I've ever seen. Out of nowhere, a strange noise echoed from the train tunnel. The unsettling sound kept getting louder, messing with everything around. In the crowd, a guy named Sebastian sensed something was wrong. He thought about leaving, but hesitated just a little too long. People near the tunnel started acting weird. Their eyes changed color, and suddenly, they began throwing themselves onto the tracks. As the train approached, it was like they were drawn to it, completely mesmerized. In the chaos, Sebastian almost fell onto the tracks himself, but somehow managed to keep his balance and avoid disaster. Right after, his wife called, begging him to come home immediately and pick up their daughter, Anna, from school. As things spiraled out of control, Sebastian watched in horror as his co-workers started taking their own lives right in front of him. Terrified, he ran out of the office. Outside, a man fell from above and landed on Sebastian's car, completely wrecking it. The whole city was in chaos. People were running everywhere. Cars were crashing, and accidents were happening all over. Somehow, Sebastian managed to escape and rush to Anna's school. When he got there, he found the staff dead and the building in ruins. Fires were burning in the classrooms, and kids were frozen in fear. He grabbed Anna and shielded her as they made their way through the destruction. On the way, they passed a church where a priest stopped him. The priest told Sebastian that what was happening was a divine gift, a miracle. But Sebastian didn't care about miracles. He just wanted to keep his family safe. Without another word, he kept moving. Outside, he finally spotted his wife. But just as they were reunited, a speeding car came out of nowhere and hit her, killing her instantly. 9 months later, Sebastian and Anna are together in an abandoned skate park. Their peace is suddenly shattered by a strange noise, and they run, only to be ambushed by a group of blind robbers who steal all their food. Sebastian tries to fight back, but Anna stops him. Later, he thanks her, realizing the attackers were just desperate and starving. On the radio, there's a warning. Strange aliens are outside, and everyone is told not to look at them because they can control your mind and make you hurt yourself. Sebastian and Anna cover their eyes and go outside. He finds some strangers who've also blindfolded themselves and asks if they have any food since he hasn't eaten in days. At first, they're hesitant, but Sebastian tells them he's an engineer and knows where his company's generator is, which could provide electricity and heat. Suddenly, the strange energy from the aliens starts to get closer, and the group decides to take Sebastian with them. They lead him to their secret hideout, where a bunch of survivors are staying. One of the men, Marciel, notices Sebastian's injury and tells him to see Liliana, a doctor who's also in hiding. She treats his wounds and asks what happened. He says he got into a fight with some thugs. Later, she gives him food, and all the survivors gather around a fire. A blind man shares his story, saying the aliens almost caught him, but he blinded himself with a knife and barely escaped. He also says the aliens mark their victims with a strange eye symbol on their forehead. Later, when everyone's asleep on a bus, Sebastian suddenly starts the engine. Liliana asks why, but Sebastian coldly says everything's going to be fine and floors it. The others wake up and try to stop him, but he grips the wheel and drives faster, destroying the facility and everything in his path. Eventually, the bus crashes and flips, injuring everyone. That's when the aliens show up. Mariel, badly hurt, stumbles out and accidentally looks at the aliens. He immediately kills himself with a piece of shrapnel. Liliana steps out, shaking, but keeping her eyes shut. Sebastian, calmly, tells her not to worry and forces her eyes open. She catches a glimpse of the aliens and dies. Another man sees the aliens and throws his lit cigarette into the leaking gas from the bus, causing a huge explosion. Sebastian sees golden lights, souls, leaving the victims' bodies. Then it's revealed that Anna is just a hallucination in Sebastian's mind. She praises him, calling him a savior, and tells him he did the right thing, that now everyone's souls are in a better place. Sebastian walks down a dark hallway and finds people crucified on a wall, most already dead, but one man barely alive. With his last breath, the man whispers that the creatures tormenting them are monsters from another galaxy and will kill everyone. But Sebastian, unmoved, insists they're angels. He gently closes the dying man's eyes and watches his soul drift upward. Moments later, Sebastian sets off looking for his next victims. He sees a woman entering a pharmacy, her eyes covered like so many others. She hears his footsteps and asks who he is. She introduces herself as Claire. Sebastian repeats his usual lie, saying he's starving but knows where a working generator is. Soon, two of Claire's friends, Rafa and Octavio, show up with their dogs. They're suspicious and argue about letting in another stranger, but Claire is curious about the generator and insists he could be useful. Just then, the alien presence gets closer, so they have no choice but to take Sebastian with them and run to their bunker. Inside, Sebastian meets the rest of the group, including Sophia, a young German girl, and an older couple, Isabel and Roberto. Claire gives Sophia a piece of chocolate she brought from outside, making the little girl smile. Rafa and Octavio pull Sebastian aside, pressing him for more info about the generator. In Sebastian's mind, Anna warns him not to tell the truth and urges him to get them outside as soon as possible. He listens to her and admits he made up the story about the generator. No one else understands her, but Sebastian translates, claiming she said not to throw him out. The group is surprised, since no one knew where Sophia came from or that Sebastian spoke German. Grateful and curious, they decide to let Sebastian stay and ask him to find out more about Sophia's past. Sophia tells her story, with Sebastian translating. She says she was with her mom going up a ramp when people started panicking and pushing. She saw people jumping into the river to escape. Somehow, she and her mom got away and hid in a van. On the radio, they heard about a safe place in the mountains. The group asks Sophia where it is, but she's not sure, so she draws a castle on a mountain with chalk. Claire suggests it might be Castle. Sophia continues, saying she and her mom blindfolded themselves and left the van, but she fell and got separated from her mom. She never saw her again. Overcome with emotion, Sophia cries, and Claire comforts her, explaining to the others that she found Sophia and took her in. The group debates whether to head for the castle. Sebastian argues it's worth a shot, that other survivors, and maybe Sophia's mom, could be there. He says they can't survive much longer in the bunker. Roberto disagrees, warning it's a suicide mission. But when everyone votes, most are in favor of going. Roberto, though reluctant, finally agrees. That night, Sebastian sees Anna's shadowy presence again, influencing him. Under her sway, he quietly cuts the dogs' ropes, planning for them to break free and cause chaos when the aliens arrive. The next morning, just as he planned, the aliens show up and the dogs' ropes snap, creating confusion. When the aliens appear, everyone starts reliving their worst memories. Claire is haunted by her brother's death. Sophia hears her mother's voice urging her to take off her blindfold. She almost does, but Octavio stops her just in time. Rafa, desperate to find his dogs, removes his blindfold and looks at the aliens. Overwhelmed, he smashes his head against a car windshield, killing himself. Claire, trapped in her memories, sits paralyzed. Octavio tries to snap her out of it and looks for a safe zone. Roberto searches for Rafa, but is bitten by one of the dogs, now under alien control. Blood pours from his arm. Claire tells him Rafa is dead, and Octavio breaks down. Back inside, Isabel tends to Roberto's wound. He mutters that he heard she cheated on him. Isabel insists it's not true, that the aliens are planting false memories to mess with their minds. Later, Octavio says he thinks the aliens might be from some kind of quantum realm, changing their form based on people's deepest fears, and using those fears to control them. Claire opens up about her brother, who suffered from depression. Even though she was a psychiatrist, she couldn't help him, and the guilt still lingers. She asks Sebastian what he heard during the alien attack, but he cuts her off, asking where Sophia is. Claire goes to look for Sophia, but Sebastian tells her to rest and says he'll check on the girl. He finds Sophia alone. He kneels beside her and gives her a locket, the one he once gave Anna for her birthday. The scene flashes back to Anna's birthday, 7 months earlier. Sebastian kisses her and promises they'll celebrate soon. Back in the present, Anna's voice echoes in his mind, asking why he gave her pendant to Sophia. Claire walks in and, noticing something off, asks who Anna really is, his wife or daughter. since Sophia's pendant has Anna's name on it. Thoughtful. She presses further, asking if it was Anna's voice he heard when the aliens arrived. Claire, revealing she's a psychiatrist, gently offers to help, saying she doesn't want anything in return. She explains that what he's experiencing is alien manipulation and that he needs to face it. She shares her own experience, hearing her dead brother's voice, but realizing it wasn't real. Anna's illusion tries to sway Sebastian again, but he's visibly conflicted, almost believing Claire when a loud from Roberto interrupts. His infection has gotten worse. Claire says they need antibiotics. She, Sebastian, and Octavio blindfold themselves and go searching. Claire heads into a bathroom full of medicine cabinets. Sebastian and Octavio check another room. Octavio finds no medicine, but does find some food. He calls out to Sebastian, asking if everything's okay. Meanwhile, Anna is whispering in Sebastian's mind. Sebastian says all the windows are closed and it's safe to come back, but when Octavio enters, he sees a window wide open. He takes off his blindfold for a second, sees the aliens, and immediately falls under their control. In a frenzy, he grabs a knife and stabs himself over and over until he dies. Sebastian watches in horror. Shaken, unlike the others, he doesn't see Octavio's soul rise. He feels deep regret. Claire rushes in, drawn by the noise, and tells Sebastian they need to leave. Anna's voice keeps calling to him, urging him to remove Claire's blindfold, but Claire pulls him away before he can act. Back with the group, Isabel asks where Octavio is. Claire says he didn't make it. She hands the antibiotics to Isabel for Roberto. Isabel asks why Sebastian is sitting apart from everyone. Claire explains he's deeply shaken and blames himself for Octavio's death. It's clear Sebastian is haunted by guilt. Later, Anna confronts Sebastian in his mind again, asking why he didn't remove Claire's blindfold. Sebastian says that when Octavio died, he didn't see his soul ascend. Anna accuses him of losing faith. Sebastian admits maybe he's not a savior. Maybe he's a wolf instead. As Claire, Sebastian, and the older couple go outside again, they run into people under alien control called seers. The leader is the same priest Sebastian met at the church 9 months ago. In the chaos, Roberto and Isabel get separated from the group. The aliens surround them. Knowing it's the end, Roberto and Isabel remove their blindfolds, share a final moment, and are overtaken. Meanwhile, Claire finds Sebastian's goggles, realizing he's been lying. He can see the aliens and survive. She figures out he's probably responsible for Octavio and Rafa's deaths, and maybe others. She grabs Sophia and moves away, determined to protect her. Sebastian, still hearing Anna's voice, is told that only 2 more need to die for their reunion to be complete. Claire leads Sophia to the top of the bunker, telling her to keep her blindfold on no matter what. But Sebastian follows. Claire, trying to keep her distance, missteps and falls down the stairs, knocking herself out. Now Sophia stands alone in front of Sebastian. Anna's voice urges him to remove the girl's blindfold. He almost does, but emotion overwhelms him. He can't do it. He doesn't want to hurt Sophia. Instead, he hugs. Back in the present, Sebastian returns to Claire and Sophia. He tries to explain, saying he was tricked. He truly believed he was chosen, but now he knows it was all a lie. Sad. He just wants to help them survive. Unlike the others, he can see the aliens and live. It's the only advantage he has left. The seers start chasing them. Sebastian quickly leads Claire and Sophia away. One of the seers catches up and tries to blind him, but Sebastian fights back and escapes. He gets Claire and Sophia into a car and drives toward the mountain castle. Along the way, he keeps seeing Anna's shadow, urging him to turn back, but he pushes on. Eventually, they reach the cable lift tower, the only way to the mountain where the army has a safe zone inside the castle. Sebastian blocks the path with the car and sets it on fire to slow down the seers. He helps Claire and Sophia out and tells them it's time to say goodbye. Claire, crying, begs him to come with them, but he insists on staying behind to buy them time. Claire reluctantly says goodbye, and she and Sophia start the climb. During the climb, Sophia almost slips and falls, but Claire grabs her just in time. Straining, realizing they won't make it otherwise, Claire takes off her blindfold to help guide them. Meanwhile, the priest and his followers reach the car, but it explodes, blocking their way. The priest calls out to Sebastian, claiming he's been chosen by the aliens for a higher purpose. But Sebastian, angry, refuses, saying he's no slave to those creatures. He grabs a metal rod, ready to fight. With defiance in his eyes, he declares he doesn't believe in their false god. At the top, Claire tries to start the chairlift, but the power's out. She spots a big bell and rings it, hoping to attract the aliens. The sound draws them in, and their energy activates the chairlift. At the same time, Sebastian's mind is attacked by the alien influence, trying to convince him the priest is there to free them. He sees Anna's image in the flames, almost breaking his resolve, but he fights to stay in control. The aliens try to take over Claire and Sophia's minds. Claire hears her brother's voice again. Sebastian, haunted by Anna's image, forces himself to focus. He strikes the priest with the rod. As Sophia nearly falls from the tower, Claire catches her. She times the chairlift doors, knowing they open and close every 4 seconds, and plans to jump just before they close. The priest attacks Sebastian, wounding him badly, but Sebastian refuses to give up. The priest mocks him, but Sebastian, determined, says he'll sacrifice himself so Claire and Sophia can survive, for his lost daughter. Claire, fighting the alien influence, counts the seconds and jumps onto the chairlift with Sophia. They make it to safety. Claire silently thanks Sebastian. As Sebastian dies, Anna appears to him, comforting him as he slips away. Claire and Sophia finally reach the castle, where soldiers escort them inside. Sophia's mom spots her, and they have an emotional reunion. Sophia's mom thanks Claire for saving her daughter. Soldiers take Claire for questioning. A medical officer checks her eyes and explains they're looking for signs of alien contact. Claire says she hasn't joined the aliens, but mentions someone from their side helped her get there. She says many others still need help. The officer gives Claire an injection, explaining it's a chemical marker to detect any epigenetic changes in her DNA, changes caused by stress and suffering that turn people into seers, able to see the aliens without dying, but under their control. Claire realizes something similar must have happened to Sebastian. When his daughter died, his DNA probably changed, making him a seer. Meanwhile, in a lab, 2 army scientists are using seer blood to try to make a vaccine. They've kept rats alive for 48 seconds after showing them an alien shadow, but now they have a new compound they hope will last a minute. They test it, but the rats die quickly. The captured seer keeps crying out, desperate to see the aliens. And that's where the story ends. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this recap and want more thrilling stories, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Movie Minute Recap, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Let me know in the comments what movie or series you want to see next. Until then, stay safe, keep your eyes covered, and I'll see you in the next video.